As you guys may have seen in the last video, we took the Fairmont testing, chasing faster times. I even took my dad for a ride. And maybe I pushed things just a little bit too hard.
Oh my God.
So I went out and found us a new engine to slap in the Fairmont, and now we have to do just that. And since we've got it apart, why not do some upgrades? All right guys, we finally got our hands on an engine to put in the Fairmont. This is, oh my gosh, you know what that means. It's gonna be a good one. It's nice and dirty, just how we like them. This is a 2007 Gen 3 4.8, and it only has a whopping 226,000 miles. That's exactly what we want, because you know what every 200,000 mile motor needs? It's a set of twin turbos and some nitrous. Leave your best guess in the comments for how long this thing's gonna last. So this is a 4.8, and I know what you guys are thinking, man, why are you downgrading from an LS1 to a 4.8? But the truth of the matter is that in a way, this little 4.8 is actually an upgrade. So this did come out of a 2000 Chevy truck. However, at one point, this was a replacement engine for the truck that it was in. This thing is actually a 2007 model year, which is actually really good news for us because that means that this thing has Gen 4 rods. But me sitting here talking about it isn't getting us anywhere. First things first, let's get this engine out of the Fairmont. This thing is destroyed. Wow. Oh, yep, chunks falling down on the motor. Destroyed. One thing that's super nice that I was very worried about was the fact that so much shrapnel had went through that engine. I was super worried about the cam, but the cam doesn't have a nick in it. This cam was in the first LS swap that I ever did, the first turbo LS swap that I ever did. I probably blew up like 3-4 motors in that car and just kept reusing the same cam. And then I stuck this cam in this motor and blew it up, and it survived. And now it's going in this motor. So this cam's been in like at least 6 or 7 different motors. But when you're building a budget car, that's just the type of stuff you gotta do. Let's quit talking and get this 4.8 ready to drop in the car. Oh, we've got this thing completely tore down. At this point, you know, we're ready for reassembly. However, I'm in a little bit of a predicament because this engine had 862 heads. Previously, we had 806 heads. Neither one is ideal for, you know, horsepower. I mean, they're both okay. The ones that we had on the LS1 were probably much worse than even the 862s that came on this motor. However, you know, I've got a junkyard close, and I know that there's some 799 heads out there, and I think for the sake of horsepower, we're gonna go grab a set to slap on this. So let's get a bag loaded up, get my truck, and head to the junkyard. Okay, we're out here at the junkyard. We found a donor truck. Okay, so we got our heads back. I went ahead and already cleaned them up a little bit. So now what we have to do is we have to get the valve springs out of these heads and into those heads. All right, so we got our motor pretty much all done, but we need to get our oil pan on. And before we can do that, we actually have to weld on some bungs, just like this oil pan had. Fire in the hole. Okay, so first drive in the Fairmont, and the tune is way off. To do it safely, we'll probably have to stick this thing back on the dyno and, you know, spend an hour getting this thing dialed in. But it does run good. It's got great oil pressure, no problems there. It just needs retuned pretty bad. And for the sake of the engine, to keep this one alive, I think we're gonna put it on E85. With that being said, there's definitely a better route that we could go with this car. And I think we're going to do that. So let's head back to the shop and talk about it. Okay, so as you guys saw, we got the car fired up. We actually took it for a little bit of a drive, and quickly I realized an issue. And that issue is the tune is way off. And I have a couple options. One of them, the first option, is to go ahead, spend a couple hours to get this thing dialed back in, put it back on the dyno so we can make safe pulls. Or we can ditch HB tuners and ditch the stock ECU and put something in that's going to work for us much better. And as you may have guessed it, it's a Holley Terminator X system. So these things are made for exactly what we're doing. And the reason why I didn't put one of these on it originally is the cost. These things used to be about $1,000. Now they're about $1,300 without a screen. But I don't want to take a chance of us grenading another motor for absolutely no reason. So I'm taking every precaution I can to make sure that that doesn't happen. And those precautions consist of three things. One is our Terminator X. Way easier to tune, way more reliable, way better data logging, just better all around than the stock harness in HB tuners. The next thing is a flux fuel sensor so that we can put this car on E85. And the last thing to help with our new flex fuel are bigger injectors. So I went ahead and bought some Bosch 210 injectors so that we know we have big enough injectors to support the power that we're going to make on E85. But we've got to get this stuff installed, and it's not going to install itself. I actually already have the stock computer and harness pulled out of this thing. So we're going to get to slapping our injectors in, putting our harness in, and getting this thing wired up for the final time. We're in Holley software right now, and we've got to set a few things up. We have the Fairmont completely finished. We got our 4.8 in. It runs fantastic. We also have our Holly in. We've got our bigger injectors in. We wired up our two-step. We wired up our flex fuel sensor. We actually put some E85 in it. We've got this car really dialed. The only thing left to do is take it out and test it and see how it does, see if we can replicate those 60-foot and 8th mile times that we had before we blew it up originally. So that's what we're going to do next. That'll be in the next video. But for now, before we close out this one, you know we got to do a two-step check.